It was a dead night, the moon barely lighting up the deserted Texas road. David was driving on. Static on the radio made the silence even more eerie. As he rounded the bend in the road, his headlights picked up a figure, standing on the roadside, a shivering woman in an old-fashioned white dress. David felt apprehensive and slowed down, rolling down the window. "Do you need help?" he asked. The woman nodded, but she did not say a word. Her pale face looked tired. She nodded in the direction where she wanted to go. David unlocked the passenger door, but instead of getting in there beside him, she quietly slipped into the back seat. The ride was silent, almost too silent. David tried to break the silence with his own conversation. "What were you doing out there alone?" he asked. She whispered, "I was trying to get home." Her voice was so faint, it was as though it was on the wind. She gave him an address nearby, and David, though uneasy, kept driving. When he reached the house, David turned around in the car to tell her they've arrived, but backseat was empty. His heart jumped. He hadn't heard the door open, nor close, and the seat belt was still fastened. He stepped out of the car and walked toward the house. Disoriented and scared, he rapped on the door. Old woman let him inside. The young man was mumbling but wanted to tell what had happened. He said, "She's the girl." Old lady's face went white. "That's my daughter," she whispered, voice cracking with effort. "She died in a car accident on that road 20 years ago." David stood frozen as the woman continued. "You're not the first to see her. Sometimes she asks for a ride, but she never makes it home." Shaken to his core, David apologized and hurried back to his car. As he drove away, his rearview mirror seemed darker than usual, and the memory of her haunting presence stayed with him forever.